Do you know there are three signals that can make the move in market very important next week? The first, Nifty has already moved towards 24,000 and it has recovered from 24,000. Now it is approaching near the resistance zone. The second important thing is basically Bank Nifty is showing more strength as compared to all the other index which we do have it. And third and very important thing, both FII and DII were net buyers last week. So we are going to decode all of those in this particular video, and we'll try to understand whether this particular move is just the beginning of strong move or it will be there in the range bound sort of market. We'll be decoding all of those through the chart and all the other analytics tool which we do have it. And of course, we are going to be prepared for both side of movement. It can be bullish also, bearish also, or it can be sideways also. So we're going to discuss about all of those in this particular video. So if you have not liked, shared, or subscribed to this particular channel, I suggest you to like, share, and subscribe to this particular channel. Of course, this particular video also, which will encourage us to create more videos like this. Bank Nifty has shown more strength, but Nifty has closed somewhere around 24,206. On weekly chart, it finished slightly lower than the earlier prices. So if you observe, the earlier prices were over here. So basically, somewhere around 0.26% downside it has closed for the weekly basis. But the important point over here is, let's go to daily chart. During the week, the index comes rarely in pressure. But last week, what happened? Bank Nifty and Nifty both were in huge pressure, especially the start of the week. So if you see here, it came down drastically. And what happened? We have seen some good recovery from the downside. Approximately, the final candle, if you see the last day candle, this is the candle which is approximately almost 1.2% upside movement which is given, right? That itself shows that Nifty has shown slightly recovery. So the main message is not simply that Nifty ended slightly negative. Okay, the important observation is buyers responded very strongly from the lower areas. Okay, so I wanted to share this particular thing with all of us so that you can plan your week accordingly. Now the next thing is, if you observe Nifty, it has recovered from the lower areas of 24,000 to 24,000, sort of 23,800. Let's jump into the Bank Nifty and try to understand what happened. Bank Nifty has closed somewhere around 58,046, which is a very good, slightly positive view as compared to the Nifty. And if you see the Bank Nifty, it is closing positively, but Nifty has closed negatively during the last week. So this is one of the very important thing you should be prepared for the next week. And the most important thing in Bank Nifty, I would like to show you that the daily candle. So the daily candle, almost 1.39% move was given by the daily candle. So I'm talking about this particular candle. So how much percentage? Almost 1.39% movement was given by the daily candle, which itself shows that Bank Nifty is showing some of the very, very good strength. Now Bank Nifty has recovered rapidly from the downside. If you see here we had a downside and then it recovered sharply, which shows that from the lower level people are buying it, right? So now the only thing is we have to be very prepared that either it is just a recovery or it is a confirmed trend. The biggest reason this structure matters is very simple. Market frequently recovers very quickly from the support areas, but sustainability is the issue. We've got to see whether it will sustain or it will just touch the resistance area and it will come back. So that's the question which we have to see for the next week. Now, if you observe the Nifty, I'll go then how it looks like is here is the place where it is forming sort of base. Right, so broader long-term structure has broken down completely. If you see here from this, this zone, it has come down once and twice. But what we have seen is after range bound currently, it is showing a little bit of upside movement could be possible, but again, until unless the breakout didn't happen, we should not be very much confirmed about it. So weekly chart therefore appears very neutral and mildly constructive. I will not say bullish, I will not say strongly bullish, but I will say mildly constructive or neutral sort of view I can talk about on the weekly chart. So if you observe from the chart, these are some of the important points which we have to look at. So if I go to daily chart, observe very closely in Nifty, what is happening? Here is the place where we are seeing sort of the resistance zone which is formed for Nifty. And if you talk about the support, then we can think these areas are the place where we can in case if you are working with support and resistance area, these are the two probable place where you can have a watch at. Okay, so the 25,000 is going to be very, very important, the level. So the idea is very simple. Currently, if you see here, these are the two places which we have drawn the support and resistance, right? Now, if this 25,000 sort of area which we are discussing, if these are the areas, if it will be crossing, then we will be expecting Nifty to be very much bullish. But until unless from the long-term perspective, from the broader horizon perspective, we have to wait for 25,000, which is a psychological area also, which we have to look at. Now, let's try to understand from the daily perspective. From the daily perspective, what happened? Nifty has shown some of the strength. Earlier what was happening, it was over here, but now what happened? It is showing slightly, higher high, higher low sort of structure in Nifty, which is a very good sign. Now, only thing what we have to look at is we just need to look at this area, the area which we are drawing. If Nifty will cross these areas, then it is going to be really, really important area, and we can see some good up move. But these areas are something like, these are the areas under 24,800 or 24,900. So basically 25,000 is the place where we got to have a watch it. Okay. Now from the downside perspective, if I go and open the 15 minutes chart and observe what happened. So here what happened is we have seen a big gap up opening. So this is the area which might work like a support for Nifty. Why? Because as you know that whenever gap happens, there will be big, money is involved over there. So be very careful. This can be treated as a very good support area if you are doing some sort of intraday sort of trading, which will help you a lot. Now, if you observe the pattern, how it looks like is very, very simple pattern. If you draw it, what happened? Nifty has come down sharply, right? Then what happened? It has shown bit of recovery. And after recovery, what is happening? It has been almost sideways in this particular area. So over 15 minutes chart, Friday recovery was very strong, right? And currently it is consolidating at area somewhere around 24,200 is the place where Nifty is consolidating. And if I go to 5 minutes chart, this is the way how the picture will look like. So in 5 minutes chart, again, almost similar sort of, the pattern, what we are able to see, it is consolidating at this particular area. So after up move, market is trying to, digest whatever the movement which happened over here. And what we got to do is we just need to watch for these two lines which I have drawn. So if it will go up, then intraday can be possible in terms of the bullish momentum, and it will come down. This gap can work like a very, very strong support for Nifty. So this is about the Nifty. So in terms of the interpretation, Nifty immediately structure looks like recovery above the support, and the consolidation is happening around that particular resistance area. It is improving the short-term momentum also, but no decisive higher high and higher low has formed. So we just need to watch for the exact breakout confirmation. Then only we can think like going upside. So basically what I'm going to say is if I go to the daily chart, the chart looks pretty simple. As I have discussed earlier also, if it will cross these lines, then we will be thinking in the confirmation. And if it will come down below the gap area, then market will become weak. So upside, it is very strong, and below side, it is going to be weak. So this is the way how the Nifty is looking like. So pattern is pretty simple. Above resistance, confirmation for the breakout, and below support, we will go for the weakness part of it. So Bank Nifty chart, weekly time frame, a broader recovery perspective. If you observe, let me zoom in this particular chart. It looks like this. It has shown some sharp downside in the market. And then what happened? It has recovered and it is showing some sort of W shape in the Bank Nifty chart. Especially I'm talking about the weekly candle. So broader recovery structure is being shown from the decline from almost 61,000 to approximately 51,000. Can you imagine 10,000 movement which happened? So index has returned back to area somewhere around 58,000. So that's where the coming weeks are going to be very, very important. Now let's go to the daily candle. So daily candle, what we got to do is we just need to observe over here. So these are the areas which we just need to observe. So if Bank Nifty will be going above the area which I have shown you, then around somewhere around 59,000, then we can go for the bullish momentum. And the latest candle which I'm showing you, it is showing very, very strong strength in Bank Nifty. As I told earlier also, Bank Nifty is looking really strong as compared to Nifty and other indices. If I go to 15 minutes chart, again, same thing, what I have drawn a little bit earlier. These are the areas which we have to look at. The first and foremost thing is this is the place where we got to watch it somewhere around 58,500 to 58,600. So it is going to be working like a resistance area for some time. Then your first support is going to be somewhere around 57,600 to 57,200 or 300. So this is going to be working like a support area for you. So this is your support, this is your resistance. And if you're looking for very strong support, then 56,500 to 56,700, this can also work like a very strong support for Bank Nifty. Why? Because if you see here, when it has come down, it has formed some of the good structure to move upside. It's a bullish structure and it has moved upside. So these are some of the level which you have to look at if you are sort of, the intraday sort of trading, if you are doing inside Bank Nifty. So in a nutshell, Bank Nifty is looking stronger than Nifty. Now, if Bank Nifty will cross these resistances, so what I'm going to say is, let's think that Bank Nifty will cross this resistance which we are talking, right? The interesting thing will be, will Nifty remain below the resistance? or Bank Nifty will pull Nifty also in the broader market time frame. So share your views in the comment section. I will be love to watching those. So what I will say is it is going to be very interesting because Bank Nifty might pull Nifty upside, or what will happen. It is going to be very interesting next week. Now, from the institutional activity perspective, if you go to FII, DII weekly, if you look into the weekly perspective, FII are also buyers and DII are also buyers, which is a very positive signal from the institutional perspective. But again, we should not confirm it until unless there are huge buying didn't come. Now, if you go to the daily sort of FII, DII activity, again on the closing basis, 10th of July, both were positive, which is a good sign for the market. Now, when this daily and weekly will become positive, then again we'll be seeing the monthly positiveness also. But currently, if you see here from the monthly perspective, FII have always been net sellers since so many months. So when the daily and weekly will be showing some of the good movement from the FII perspective, then we can see some of the upside movement in the market. And if this happens, it can be a very, very natural movement in the market, which can help to move ahead also. So very positive week. One positive week cannot erase the larger pattern, so we have to wait for some time so that big institutions, especially the FII, would come, and then the FII money will flow. Then we can see the bigger movement. Now the interpretation is pretty simple. Daily buying is showing the short-term participation. Weekly buying is suggesting the improved near-term behavior. Monthly selling reminds us that the very important thing that DII are the one who are sustaining the market for quite a few some time now. Okay, so the best confirmation will be continued FII buying along with the price movement. So that's the the sweet spot we should look for. Now let's talk about what are the events which can trigger the market for next couple of weeks. The first and foremost thing is India's inflation environment. Okay, June consumer inflation has shown the movement somewhere around 4% is the RBI target, which can influence the market, especially the food and fuels sort of the market which we are having it. So basically, this is higher than expected inflation can affect the overall market. Something like inflation rate expectation. It can impact the bond yield also. It can impact the rate sensitivity stocks which are available. So we should be very much careful about the first one, which is nothing but India's inflation data, which is going to come. The environment which I'm talking about. The second very important thing is the corporate earnings sessions are running right now. HCL Tech, which is going to share their report on 13th of July. It is on Monday, which is for June quarter. It is going to be very interesting. Why? Because several Indian companies will report their earnings during next week. It can move the market. So we should be very much careful. We have to keep on have a watch on this particular thing also. The third very important thing is crude oil and geopolitical tension which is happening. So fresh disruption can create a big impact because India as a net importer of crude oil, the energy requirement is high in India. So small pressure in oil, the price can create big impact, especially in Indian market. So the renewed geopolitical tension between Iran and US and of course Israel can create some disruption. So we just need to have a watch at this particular thing also. To summarize, Nifty has crossed above 24,000, but remains below the resistance zone. So that's why we are very much watchful about it. Number two, Bank Nifty has shown more strength compared to the Nifty, which is around the currently structured around somewhere around 58,000. The short-term structure, that's where we are able to see. The third and very important thing, FII and DII were net buyers during the last reported week. So long-term FII behaviors remains mixed because from the monthly perspective, it is still a lot of selling happened from FII. So they must have to come back. The fourth and very important thing is inflation data, corporate earnings, US economic data, and crude oil can impact the market, and it will impact the volatility next week. Okay. So and fifth one, confirmation above the resistance area. It is going to create some amazing structure in Nifty and Bank Nifty, and that can be the best possible scenario which we can think of, especially from the bullish perspective. But we should be ready for both sides, right? So if in case market is giving you the opportunity downside, you should always be there. By next week, we will have the clear-cut understanding about these three important answers. The first one, whether Nifty has crossed that 24,300 or 24,500 barrier or not. The second thing is FII and DII are becoming positive. So either it is a temporary basis or it is going to be from the permanent perspective. So we are going to have a look of it. The third and very important thing is corporate action, especially the companies like HCL Tech and some of the companies which are going to publish their corporate result. This is going to impact the market. So by next week, we'll have the exact understanding. We'll compare today's data with the next week data, and we'll try to map how the market will look like from the next to next week perspective also. So please subscribe to this particular channel, tune in the notification, turn on the notification so that you will be able to get the important information, the one which I'm sharing with you. So thanks for watching this particular video. Happy trade testing. But if you're not part of our community, we usually do this sort of the analysis every single time, every single day, every single week. So I will suggest you to look at the description section. Please click on that particular link. I'm inviting you to our free workshop where I'll be guiding you how you can do really well in stock market. So thank you so much for watching this video. Happy trading, happy investing, happy trade testing.